Hey, how's it going, everybody? And welcome to a very special episode of Channel X. And I am your host, Tom Dog 247. And as always, I'm Tom Dog all day and Tom Dog all night. Ooh, baby, all right. So, from the background is what we're going to be talking about throughout the whole entire episode. We're devoting an entire episode to the man of the hour, Al Yankovic, or as I still know him as Weird Al Yankovic. I'm not gonna do the shout outs and everything like that. Don't need to. This is a very special occasion because this is nothing but Weird Al for this evening. So we're gonna be cleaning it up a little bit. So sorry if you were looking for swearing, not tonight. Sorry. Um, but I will say that um so yeah, this is gonna be a relatively short episode, but well deserved as well because of the fact that throughout the years, um, through many decades of my, especially coming up to my childhood, Weird Al been a has been a huge, huge part of my childhood, and continuing on with this legacy that still has has tons of albums, and he's basically one of the best. And he's you know there's not a song that he can't it's pretty much there's not a song that he can't parody. So um he's in my mind the king of parodies, um king of satire, I guess you could say, and it's well deserved. um he's had he's had a tremendous legacy, and with the movie just coming out today, um it's it's something that I had to do. I've been meaning to do this episode for a long time now, and now with this movie coming out, I have to do this episode. It's basically a retrospective of how I grew up listening to Weird Al. Um, as I said, he was part of my childhood. Growing up in the '80s, um, my my first introduction to Weird Al came from um when he was discovered, of course, when he was discovered by um Dr. Demento, excuse me. And and pretty much took him in and everything, and it was, you know, Dr. Demento saw something from him, saw something in him that said he's bound to go places. And right he was. And you know, he had his accord, Al had um his trademark accordion, and and that was it from here on in. And you know, it's such an amazing it's such an amazing moment to to see that, and hear his music um back in the day, and then me growing up with that. My godfather introduced me, you know got me hooked on listening to Weird Al, and I I cherish that moment because he gave me the let me listen to the first Weird Al album titled Weird Al Yankovic, and yeah, it was, and I came instantly hooked. Hearing all these funny songs, I became a fan almost instantly. And just being a little kid, I loved that kind of humor, and he was always clean. He was always clean about it. You never hear him swear, never, never. And and to this day, he has never um said one of the seven dirty words. So, but yeah, other than that, though, he's been pretty good. But his music has been very popular, winning tons of Grammys. He had a movie back in the late '80s titled UHF, which became a cult classic, and it's a good show. It's a good show, good movie, I should say, good movie. And what can we say? But that has been said already about that. And then you know, then the '90s came along, and Weird Al was still huge, and he was making album after album after album, and still getting hooked onto that. Um, they had out, Weird Al, the Weird Al show, um, which wasn't as big as Pee Wee's Playhouse, but and it should have been. It was a huge letdown. It was a huge letdown that there was that it didn't receive any more seasons after it was oh, excuse me, after it was canceled after one season. To me, the show was great. I still love the show because of Weird Al. It was around the '90s and everything like that. It was a lot of fun, and I said, wherever I can find the Weird Al show, I can, I'll watch it because it's a lot of fun, and I love the show, and it played a good part of my, as I said, my childhood up into my teenage years, and of course, no one can forget. Uh, ooh, excuse me. Try not to yawn, but it's getting kind of late. I lost track of time. I was just listening to a lot of um, Weird Al music, and it was a lot of fun. Which I'm going to be listening to to again. But um, one of the thing, the one of the songs um that was a little bit of controversy. I wouldn't really say controversy. I would just say, probably, from what Weird Al has said in interviews, the song, of course, Amish Paradise, which is a parody of Gangster's Paradise by um, Coolio. And, rest in peace, Coolio. And he, Coolio didn't want that. Everybody knows the story. Um, Coolio didn't really want, for those who don't, Coolio didn't originally didn't want that video um, to be brought out. Um, and for whatever happened, there was some miscommunication, and it was released anyways. And Coolio was upset about that, and later on down the road, they pretty much patched things up, and so yeah, it was pretty, you know, it was pretty interesting, and but still, the song was a huge hit, and it was off of the album Bad Hair Day, and little fun fact about that album. Um, Around that time, I was going to be in a talent show. I was gonna perform at a talent show, and I wanted to lip sync to one of Weird Al's songs, and everybody thought that I was gonna, and they thought I was gonna do Amish Paradise because a lot of people pretty much hated that song. And I remember when they accidentally played the wrong song, the crowd, the audience was like, no, no, no. It was like, and I was getting boos and everything like that. But then I was like, no, not that song. So what I wound up doing was the alternative polka, and I had everything packed down great. I had this, the jeans, the some some baggy jeans, a jean vest, and a gray t-shirt, and I was you know pretty much looking like 90s, and so I was doing the alternative polka, and it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of choreography, which I could still do to this day, but you're not going to see it here because of copyright strikes. Maybe one of these days I'll do it on TikTok or something like that. But yeah, it was it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that, and got a good response on doing that. Seeing this kid with the choreography, and it was really cool. It was really cool. Um, but that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite um Al Yankovic Weird Al albums. Um, that I truly love because it meant a lot to me to play, um, at least one song from that album, and of course it was the alternative polka, which was my favorite. To be honest with you, this is my favorite. It's my favorite song on that album. So I had a lot of choreography. I had some pretty good. I was pretty much all over the place with that song. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that. And so yeah, so like I said, I still do my do my routine to this day, which was a lot of fun. I haven't done it in a while, so I need to freshen up on that. So it was a lot. Um, let's see. So yeah, um, then came the 2000s, um and it was it was the a lot of fun time because it was at that point in the mid 2000s where I went to my first Weird Al concert. I was living in Waterbury at the time, and they have this place downtown called the Palace Theater, which is in downtown Waterbury. Beautiful place. If you haven't been there, you know, highly recommend seeing a show there. It's worth the trip. It really is worth the trip. And but anyways, I went. I was invited to go to this Weird Al concert. And fun fact about that one, that was my only concert I've ever been to. Out of all the concerts that I could have went to growing up, um, in the '90s and even the 2000s, the only concert that I've ever been to in my entire life was a Weird Al Yankovic concert, and he was promoting the Straight Outta Linwood album, and so it was very special. It was very special that I went to that one, and I was not disappointed because if you've never been to a Weird Al Weird Al concert, you are definitely missing out on a good time. Um, his concert, his concert was amazing when I went there. Um, quick changes, quick changes. Um, that that followed every song, and it was amazing. It was like surreal. And in between the show, and even in between changes, um, they would have like little sketches that he would post up um, on the monitors, and one of them um, was LTV, not to be confused with the show that he did, but it was called LTV, and it was basically of course, a satire of um, MTV, rightfully so. And he would post up these interviews, and and basically they're mock videos. He would just edit real life interviews that was done by by somebody else, and he would match the setting to wherever if you were in like this you know this this one little set that you would see on Access Hollywood, um you would see that there, and you would see Weird Al matching that set. So let's say if there was like a red curtain in the background, he would match it to um he would have the set make it look like there's another curtain there to match the room. So it was pretty clever with that, and he had a lot of fun. And one of the things that was my absolute favorite, I saw a lot of them on his YouTube channel. Um, is where there's one where he interviews Jessica Simpson. So he interviews Jessica Simpson, and they made it like they corrected. She was saying, "You said my name wrong." I was like, "What's your name?" It was like Jessica Sampson. You mispronounced my name. It's Jessica Sampson. So it was hilarious. That was like the funniest bit um that they showed. And yeah, he it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious, and I love that. And at the time, when I was, my girlfriend at the time went with me to this show too with a friend of ours who bought the tickets and everything. And Al would come out to the stage, and he sang one of his songs, and it was the song the song was called "I Want to Be Your Lover." That was off of the album Poodle Hat, and and so he would do these pickup lines that these cheap pickup lines, and he actually did one to my girlfriend at the time. I don't, it was the line where it was the line in the song where he's like, "I don't mean to be forward, but do you mind if I sniff your, chew on your butt, you know. So it was awesome. It's like, oh my god, it's like Weird Al wants to chew on your butt. So it was awesome. Oh, it was hilarious. It was hilarious, and he did he did and I pretty much, my friend and I, we were singing through a lot of his songs, and some people in the back, behind us were a little bit upset, and I'm like, you do it's like this is what you do at every concert. You sing, if you know the words, sing along. It's like it's not like one of those concerts where you have to sit there quietly and then after the song you go. It's like it's a concert. You're supposed to have a good time. I'm having a good time. My friends having a good time. We're singing along with the songs. It's like if you knew the words too, you would sing along too. So hey, we were devoted we were devoted fans. We were devoted fans, and we still are. And but yeah, we had a good time. Had a real good time. There was one where he did Canadian Idiot, and which is a parody of American Idiot, by Green Day. And at the end of the song, they showed up some Monopoly money as confetti. So we actually grabbed a couple of them. It was funny. It was awesome. I was like, holy, oh my god. And but yeah, and then he sang some of his classic songs. He did "Eat It." The last two songs he did was the first one being "Eat It." Then after that song, they put to the screen to where they did the opening to the next video, which was "Fat." And I was like, they're gonna play. He's gonna do "Fat." I was like, I wonder if he has the fat suit. And that was the only thing I was worried about. I was wondering if he was gonna have the fat suit. And sure enough, he had the fat suit. He actually had the fat makeup and everything like that. It was like, oh my god, he got it. And I was like, I started geeking out, man. It was awesome. And that concert was such a great time. It's like he had the fat, he did the fat. He was moving around in that suit, and I was like, oh yeah. Well, it's like everybody was on their feet, and we were having a great time. We were having a great time, and it was one of the greatest moments of my life. It was awesome. It was, yeah, I know I said the first concert I've ever been to. I'm not counting to the one I went years before when I was a little kid, and that was New Kids on the Block. That doesn't count because I wasn't really a fan. I wasn't really a fan of New Kids on the Block. My sister was, and I was forced to go because she won tickets. So yeah, but and it was when they had lake compounds, when lake compounds had a stage and everything, and it was so hot that day. It was like over 100 degrees, and I'm standing right in front of, right underneath the sun, and it was so humid in there, and everybody was on top of each. Everybody was like, pretty much crowded together. I lost consciousness and had to go get some oxygen. So after I passed out, I went and got some oxygen, and then after that, I got front row. My sister was pissed. So, but I still had a good time. But my official concert, uh, my official concert that I've ever been to was, of course, Weird Al. So yeah, that was my time watching that concert, and I had a blast. I was like, I want to go to one of those concerts if he's ever in town. But yeah, I want to go to those because they're so fun. They're so fun to go to. And so, like I said, I highly recommend that you go to a Weird Al concert because if you haven't seen a Weird Al Yankovic concert, you are really missing out because they are a lot of fun, and you will have you will have a great time. You really would. And I was kind of hoping that they would do a meet and greet because I wanted to meet him. I wanted to meet him so bad, and I still do. One of the things I want to do before I die is that I want to meet Weird Al Yankovic. And I know one of those things that you say, you hear this line, I was like, you never want to meet your heroes. And I haven't met my hero yet because I'm sitting here paying homage to him. So, um, but yeah, he out of all the celebrities I really want to meet and have met over the years, um, excuse me, one of them that I really want to meet before it's too late is I want to meet Weird Al Yankovic. I really do. Meet and greet. I want to go shake his hand. How you doing? Have a picture with him, and just geek out. Geek out. And it was an amazing time. It would be an amazing time because I would just be, like, oh, workout, yes. So yeah, that's my lifelong, that's my ultimate dream to one day meeting Weird Al Yankovic. I really do want to meet him one day and say thank you. And now let's talk about. Let me give you my review of Weird, the Al Yankovic story. It's going to be a non-spoiler review, and if you haven't seen it, it's out now on Roku, and I'm actually going to see it again because I actually enjoyed that movie. It was truly amazing, and one thing you'll notice, I don't know if this is really a spoiler, but I don't know if it has been brought into conversation, but um, it's actually based off of a short, um, off of a sketch that was on Funny or Die on the YouTube channel. And I completely forgot that they did that because 9 years ago is when they did a trailer to Weird, the Al Yankovic story, and there is a bug over here, and he got away. Don't worry, I'll get him. Get some raid. Anywho, um, so yeah, um, it's based off of a short of the same name, Weird, the Al Yankovic story. And that one, it was played by Aaron Paul. Everybody knows who Aaron Paul is. He plays on Breaking Bad. Played Jesse on Breaking Bad, and I forgot that was done. And I looked back and I was like, so that's where I saw that from. And So yeah, you're gonna see that this is actually an actual movie that Funny or Die did. So it's not just Roku, um, Roku original. It's actually a Funny or Die movie. So kudos to them. And I really, because of how successful that was, I really hope that they do more. Um, Basically, The Landlord with Will Ferrell, because that's their I think that was their first one, which is a really funny sketch. I love that sketch. And of course, the Captain Planet video with the Captain Planet um 6 episode series with Don Cheadle as Captain Planet. Awesome. But anyways, it's not about Captain Planet or the landlord. It's about Weird Al. Let me try to mirror that. Huh, almost. But yeah, almost. You can tell how devoted I am about this. You can tell how much of a fan I am. But anyways, um, but yeah, that movie was absolutely amazing. Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al. I was amazed about how ripped he was in that movie. I was like, what? Oh my god! It's like Harry Potter. Daniel Radcliffe, who played Harry Potter, is like he could be a wrestler. Look, I mean, an indie wrestler. He's not going to believe how short he is, though. Damn. But nonetheless, it was a very Evan Rachel Wood as Madonna, spot on. Um, the guy who plays on The Office. Um, I forgot the. I never really watched The Office, but I know him by that face. He plays Dr. Demento. Um, where in the Funny or Die sketch, Dr. Demento was played by Patton Oswalt. He has a little cameo in the movie as well. Um, and some other cameos, which I do not want to spoil. But one big cameo, which I won't, um, which I won't spoil. And but we all know that Weird Al Yankovic in the movie, he plays one of the Scotty brothers. And the other one's played by Will Forte. Um, but yeah, nonetheless, this movie was really, really good. This movie was really, really good. And hearing new versions of some of his classics was also a treat for me. And Weird Al even posted on Twitter that there's that the soundtrack is also available today. So that's also really good. I had a chance to listen to that. Awesome, awesome. And I had a, it was I, I had a great time with that, and it was uh, the soundtrack is awesome. And so yeah, it was so yeah. Well, I highly recommend you watch that movie. It's on Roku right now, and of course it's free. Um, don't want to miss it. It's good, very very good. Oscar worthy, yes. I believe. I feel in my mind that this movie is deserving for an Oscar nomination. Would it win? I hope so. but but nonetheless, it's still a very good movie, and yeah, I love it. I love the movie. I'm actually going to see it again this weekend. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. um, Bunch of other surprises in that movie too, and even some Easter eggs, um, which I don't even want to spoil either. Um, it's like one of those if you miss it, um, if you blink it, you miss it. But yeah. So let's see what we got here. Okay, now we come to the end. And the one little thing that we got to do before we um, end the show here tonight. Um, so yeah, as I said, I've been meaning to do this special for a really long time. Weird Al um, has always been a huge part of my childhood and everything, and um, still entertaining after all these years. Um, Still a very good performer. Still laugh, and still sing along to a lot of his songs. Some I can even remember by heart. Um, but I don't want to sing a cappella tonight. I really don't. I'm a little tired, but I'll probably do it some other time. Probably before the year is over. I'll do it. And but yeah, I got to do some updating on some of my things because I'm getting things started for my year-end review. I'm getting it done early so I don't forget. So, but yeah, um, it like I said, I never had the opportunity to meet Weird Al in person. You know, I've seen his concert, had a great time, but never had the opportunity to shake his hand and say thank you. And I really want to do that. And I think it'll be a real treat for me if I did. Um, like I said, there's a lot of other celebrities who I haven't met who I really want to meet. Um, and I enjoy. I will always treasure and cherish listening to a Weird Al song because it puts me in a good mood. And whether it's some cheap puns that he puts out, or hell, even if it's watching um, UHF, which is another one of my favorites of his. I will always treasure listening to a Weird Al um, in one way or another. Whether it's watching LTV, whether it's watching, um, the Weird Al show, whether it's watching all of his music videos, which you can listen to him on his YouTube channel. Um, Watching his cameos on various movies like Naked Gun and doing the intro to Spy Hard, and even the movies that he's done. One way or another, he is a very um, major part of my childhood, and I would like to say thank you for now for being able to entertain us even till now, even during the bad times in the world, um, with the pandemic and all this other drama that's going on in the world, at least I know that your music, your form of entertainment can bring pretty much everybody together and not focus on all the bad stuff. And basically your song, your entertainment has been a huge salvation to my life. And I am extremely honored. I'm extremely honored to induct you into the Channel X Hall of Fame. And you deserved it. Like I said, it's been a long time coming, and I like it. You're such an amazing performer, and it's awesome. It's awesome what you do. And again, I want to say thank you. So it is an extreme honor to induct you into the Channel X Hall of Fame. You deserved it. You definitely deserved it. And like I said, it was a long time coming, and I should have inducted you a long time ago. But I felt the necess but I felt the need to do it now, especially because of the fact that you have such an amazing movie that's out right now on Roku. Um, if it doesn't get nominated for an Oscar, I'm gonna be sad because they overlooked such a great film. A satire of all these, um, you know, it's pretty much a satire of all these um docudramas that you see out there. Like Rocket Man, Bohemian Rhapsody, um, Elvis, just to name a few. And I know there's more, but and it's awesome. It's awesome to see that that even you can satirize something that's a huge thing right there. And it was such a great film, such a great film, and this was well deserved. This was well deserved. And I want to say you definitely deserve a place, not only just a place in the Channel X Hall of Fame, but your own wing because of how amazing you really are. And so, um, with that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you again, Weird Al, for entertaining us for all these years. And here's to more years, to many more years to come. And I hope one day I get to shake your hand and say thank you. Yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in this evening. You can follow me on Twitter at TomDog247. If you miss any of tonight's episode, which I really hope you didn't, you can check it out as soon as I turn off the camera. ringy dingy that bell to stay notified of what I'm going to be doing next, and to support small streamers like myself. There's only one major thing to do, and that is face hug that subscribe button. We will see you all again here next Thursday. Same Tom Dog time, same Tom Dog channel X. And with that said, this is Tom Dog saying take care, so long, peace, and thank you, Al.